And Torrent Terrace winning the last time. This is Lance Corey, who earned his first ever gold medal at X Games in speed style at his first ever X Games.
And Corey got into this competition because Andre Villa had to pull out the last minute. There you saw Wes A.G. just taking the jump and lining up here. Nate Adams, great to see Nate back at X Games.
We haven't seen him in a full-bore freestyle competition in over a year. It's great to have him here in speed style. I'm looking forward to seeing him in the freestyle later in the week.
So the guys going through their introductions. Next up, Ronnie Renner. Expect him to do great things in step up here tonight.
And of note, he is riding his step up bike. He will ride the same bike in best whip, step up, and speed style, which for those of you that ride dirt bikes and jumping, you'll know that that's not easy to ride all three disciplines on one suspension setup.
Jeremy Stenberg taking his jump, and this is the Spaniard, Edgar Torrent. He did an amazing task and took down Jeremy Stenberg in his home city of Barcelona.
Edgar's such a talent, and he's riding a two-stroke motorcycle. You'll hear it. There's a distinctive difference, and for those of us that have been around riding dirt bikes a long time, that old-school sound is pretty sweet. It's actually making a comeback as well. So now we're on. Here we go. 6 minutes. And one thing we need to point out right away as Lance Corey takes to the ramp, it's a 3-wide, a triple width ramp. This is the first time in history of the best whip that we haven't been on a single width ramp.
So the boys are going to get it warmed up, but then expect them to unleash. And I would think that as we see Twitch fly over there, Jeremy Stenberg, next up will be Edgar Torrent Terrace.
Wow! Now this is what you need to look for, of course. You're involved in the voting. Look for whipping different directions. There's what we would call the anti-whip or the twitch whip going opposite direction. And then there's conventional whips, throwing it sideways, your good way. So look for riders that can go one way and go the other. So throwing it to the left, throwing it to the right on different jumps. Sending the rear all the way around with the bike. You know, like you're looking like you're going on 180. Something different like Stenberg, the way that he does
stalled out with that. Really, it shocked us the first time we saw it back in Foster Boissou. But Edgar Torrent Terrace is just a consummate showman. Absolutely fantastic at throwing that two-stroke bike around. Now, the reason we're telling you all of this, folks, is because you are the judges in this competition. You tweet your votes for your favorite rider to hashtag #XGamesWhip. We're not the judges, you're the judges. So really study what these guys are doing. And again, I think Twitch can get that a little bit further around sometimes. We've seen that one, especially when Edgar's coming out with insane whips like that right after him.
They have 6 minutes to hit it as many times as they want. Lance Corey really has had some of the best jumps that I've seen so far tonight. Throwing the bike backwards, throwing the conventional whip, taking a look. This is Nate Adams, of course, just coming back from injuring the shoulder. Actually, he injured both shoulders over the last year. Stenberg and Corey.
That's kind of interesting because it looked like Edgar dropped out of rotation there, or maybe Corey just added himself into the rotation a bit.
And maybe just, you know, jumping in behind Stenberg, wanting to get in that same visual for the fans. There's Nate Adams. Stenberg on a huge run already with online support.
69, 70%, wow, 72% right now for Jeremy Stenberg, who, of course, has an awesome fan base and makes the most amazing calls to action. But I'm really impressed by Lance Corey.
I'm super impressed by Corey. And Edgar Torrent Terrace inversion.
Listen to that crowd. That bike was completely upside down.
Wes A.G. taking to it. Nate Adams, we'll fire off the names a little bit here so you know who to vote for. And the straight air for Ronnie Renner. Now, Renner is a solid, he does have a solid whip, but you know, I think he's really focused on other things. There's so many different comps going on. I think he's having fun here, though.
Renner has that big, really hanging upside down whip that he does, but he kind of hasn't been pulling that lately, and feels that, you know, maybe he should have got more recognition than maybe Jeremy Stenberg did with that whip, but he looks like he's having fun, and that's important. Maybe he'll relax relax a little bit because he really has a big competition coming up later tonight in Step Up.
There's Stenberg and Corey. Corey, 23 years old. His dad's name is Lance also. And Edgar Torrenteras, for those of you that don't know the history of freestyle motocross, way back towards the beginning times of freestyle, Edgar was really one of those shooting stars. He was one of the forefathers of the sport and had big performances early on and then just kind of disappeared for a while. I think part of it was didn't agree with the judging, so to speak, but he's really embraced the fans, the judging, the whole aspect, and he has been nothing short of great over the last couple of years.
So there's Torrenteras again, and it looks like a little bit of doubles action coming up from Jeremy Stenberg and Lance Curry there. And you can see how far sideways Nate Adams was on the landing there. Gave it a little bit of throttle to correct it. Here comes Curry again. Oh, wow.
And I'm super impressed with Corey. I mean, I think he's going to be leaving here with the medal. How's the fans? They're just fired up. What a beautiful city. Amazing people here in Munich. This is Nate Adams and Stenberg.
And here we go. Time is winding down. Under a minute left in the competition. And remember, tweet your vote, #XGamesWin, and vote for your favorite rider in this competition as Edgar Torrenteras turns it backwards again.
I would say this is a straight-up runaway. And it looks like that's Wes Agee. Looks like he might have washed in the corner. And why that is interesting right there is because they'll be racing speed and style there. And there are some marbles around what is a very tacky, creamy clay here in Germany. Oh, Lance sending it behind Stenberg. And Stenberg's looking phenomenal, but a big ups to Curry.
Fantastic.
And Edgar, hello.
But still, Stenberg with over 60% of the vote. The last few seconds of competition here for all of these riders. And Nate Adams sending it skyward again with that stalled out turn down that he's doing.
We'll see him in the speed style later on, as we will see Lance Corey.
And it should be Edgar's final whip of the session. And a big one to end it out.
I think it's interesting. Torrenteras just has that natural flair. That's something that Stenberg has always had, that just natural riding ability. And both of them just so beautiful on the bike.
So that's it. They put down 6 minutes of huge whips. And from what I'm seeing, it's virtually impossible to beat Jeremy Stenberg on his day. So the boys are lining up for that final decision. There you see Jeremy Stenberg on the left talking to Lance Curry on the right. Looked like Jeremy was already claiming that. Let's take a look at some of the action we saw there in a really brief 6 minutes, Cameron.
Lance Corey, he really impressed me. I loved his skill. This is the first time we've had him in the best whip competition. Nails the landing with just a beautiful whip. This right here, I like it.
Oh, that was fantastic.
Yeah. So
I love the stall out at the start.
Wes Agee. This is Nate Adams throwing that.
So upright, too.
Yeah.
I mean, that's amazing. It's really hard to do that and bring the bike back around.
Straight out of Glendale, Arizona. Here's Ronnie. Who's your daddy, Renner? It's his nickname, and great riding talent. We'll see. Yep, we'll see Twitch here, floating it sideways. Jeremy Stenberg, just phenomenal skill set.
And here, Edgar Torrenteras. Wow, look at that look back, too. Fully look back. Huge commitment from Torrenteras. Well, everybody at home, thank you for voting for your Ford fan favorites. Here are the results, and no big surprise.
I'm not surprised. I'm surprised it wasn't a little bit closer, but Stenberg, Torrent Terrace, and Curry, those are your medalists, and I know Jeremy Stenberg will be stoked to get back on top after losing to Torrent Terrace in Spain.
Jeremy Stenberg reclaims the gold, and right now he is down with Aaron Bates. Aaron.
Well, Jeremy Stenberg brings this Munich crowd to their feet, displaying the ultimate display of showmanship out there. Jeremy, congratulations to you, but you whipped it so hard, so flat. Was there ever a moment where you thought you'd whipped it so big that you weren't going to be able to bring it back?
Nah, because that's just what I do. No. That was fun, man. This running was super short. I barely got to ride. I got here 10 minutes before my gear bag got here 10 minutes before I rode, so I was kind of stressed and thinking I was going to have to ride in my street clothes, but pulled it off. Fun.
The crowd was going absolutely crazy for you out there. How much did the reaction help with your performance tonight?
Oh, it's so much. Like, we feed off crowd. Like, that's why we ride freestyle. We want to show off, and when we get a crowd like this in Germany, like, it couldn't be much better. So I'm just pumped for all my fans and family, everyone voting, and just want to give a shout out to my boy Justin Ayers. He's broke his back pretty bad, and just hopefully see him back up on his feet soon.
You're great with media. You've got a massive Twitter following. How much did that help?
Oh, it has to help, but you know what I mean? Like, I've always been loyal to my fans, just like they're loyal to me, so we got that bond.
Congratulations on doing exactly what you set out to do, and that's conquering your 4th Best Whip gold medal.
Thank you. Hey.
Guys, back to you.
Thanks, Aaron. A great showing from Jeremy Stenberg, and I actually did wonder why he was in his street clothes half an hour ago, but that explains it. His gear bag just showed up. They're the medalists. Jeremy Stenberg gets gold. Torrent Terrace has to settle for silver. And a fantastic showing in the bronze medal position for Lance Curry. When we come back, we've got more from X Games Munich. We're having fun here.